PUBG was the worst battle royale I ever played. It looked like garbage and it ran like hot garbage, but it was fun garbage to play with.
It's so much fun.
I hate the
I wouldn't
mechanics,
play with garbage personally.
The vehicles are unmatched, in my opinion.
Yeah, what do you mean unmatched? Yeah, they blow up.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fun.
The best part.
Flipping randomly, exploding, just like hitting the tiniest little curve, and you're like in Pachinki.
You're gone.
All of a sudden.
I love
like,
that.
Yeah, it's
I
the
love
best.
that.
And we're live with 5 people. Let's go.
So, start with the introductions. I'm Carson at CM_Giles with the Z on Twitter.
Robert, twitch.tv/ushocks right above me.
I'm Leo, or General Dumplin 1. Should say it. Yeah, very nice.
I'm Josh, Sandy Pickle. I've been here before, but took a little break for some family, but back now.
And I'm Joshua fastrr, just stepping in as a guest today.
Yeah, we got 2 Joshes on the scene. It's gonna get hectic.
I'm Boomer Josh. I'm older.
Boomer Josh? Maybe that's
Boomer
what I should
Josh.
call you. So Boomer Josh, what's your opinion on like? We're just gonna go with that. Yeah. All right. What do we got this week?
So
A lot.
starting off, you notice our special guest, other Josh or fastrr. Josh, you want to give a little bit of information about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So I'm one of the general managers of Esports here at CU. I work alongside Mikey G and then Liam Renoops in overseeing the competitive teams, the tryout process, basically everything that you'll see on the esports side of the organization. And then outside of CU, I coach over at Rough Riders, a youth esports organization in Superior. And then I do a couple other things outside of that as well.
Great. So how long have you been with CU Gaming at that point then?
Yeah, so I believe it was back in June or July of last summer is when I stepped into the organization, really put myself out there, networking with the staff, getting to understand the structure of the organization. And then I, from there, pursued a role in the org. I believe I started out, I don't know what I started out as. I think I was put into the GM role pretty quickly. It was kind of a new role when I obtained it, so they made it kind of special just for me and Liam coming into the organization. And then I've been, competing over the course of the last 2 semesters as well.
Awesome. Yeah. Definitely
Well, neato.
rising up.
I was say something. That's what I was say, like rise up gamers, but that's just stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again,
Josh
thanks, Josh,
is
for being.
He's
you
a
go
formidable captain, I must say.
Very nice.
You know, I thought with 5 people we'd be talking over each other, but like right now I'm trying to fill space, so we got to bring the energy up here. Boys.
Okay.
We got to hype them up with some
yeah.
news or something. Carson, I know you got something for us. What do we got coming up next
more
month?
charity stream news. Again, our charity stream, 24-hour charity stream is going to be on June 20th. That's going to be a lot of fun. We'll have more information about what's going to be on the stream and who's going to be on the stream. But our biggest announcement so far is we're partnering with Help Colorado Now, which is the COVID relief fund for Colorado. And all donations, proceeds, everything that we earn from the charity stream will go directly to this relief fund.
Hell yeah.
So you can find information about donating and volunteering at helpcoloradonow.org. And again, charity stream is going to be on the 20th. It's on Twitch, this channel right here, or twitch.tv/CuBoulder And again, we're partnering with Help Colorado. And we'll definitely have a lot more updates coming in the next few weeks about just our general content for the stream.
Yeah, we got a lot of content. We got a lot of incentives for you guys pitching in for the cause, and 24 hours. I think like 4 out of
4 hours?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
4 out of 5 of us here stream, I think, right? So what's the longest you guys have streamed? Because 24 hours. I've heard
I
it's
feel
pretty
like
taxing.
13. I feel like 13 I've done.
13. Yeah. Wow.
Longest I've done was 7.5 hours.
Mine's 8.
I did 3 and I felt exhausted.
3? I've definitely done 8 on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm. It's taxing.
7.5 fucking. I don't know. I can't explain.
know,
You did
dude.
how many? How many did you do?
13.
Jesus.
13.
That's just the prediction. I mean, yeah.
I was like crawling.
It's really no
at
different than a
7.5.
normal gaming session, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, definitely.
True.
It's,
Yeah. but it's like I don't even know. Like at least sometimes in that 13 hours, you can just sit back or like go walk away. But like 13 hours of streaming.
Josh, what have you been playing lately?
It's a good question. I've been kind of on the Apex grind, with Season 5. I know you guys covered that a little bit last episode.
The new character Loba.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's pretty strong.
We covered the lore a little bit, but there was some hit reg issues with the Season 5 update, right?
Yeah, so pretty recently they released a patch solving most of those hit registration problems. I think you'll see them every now and then, but before you were seeing them like 5 to 10 times a game, pretty consistently.
Her thighs are kind of nuts.
Yeah.
I have to put it out there.
Josh had to get that one off his chest.
Glad someone said it. I'm glad someone said it. I wanted to, but I
find her fun in a way, but also at the same time, she's kind of underwhelming.
Her voice lines are pretty sassy.
Oh, her voice lines are great.
We talked about that. Some of them are just brutal.
Yeah, we talked about like some of them between Revenant and Loba, and how Revenant is the edgiest dude ever.
Yeah.
No.
But like her ability, it's like okay. I mean, I think it's pretty fun to use it.
Her ult is like.
Her ult is whatever. It's just.
It's
it's pretty good.
It's like any weapon, right?
It's literally less walking.
It depends on your kind of how you play the game, but you can use the ult towers, like the charging towers, and pretty effectively use the ultimate like early game to get information on what loot's nearby.
It's pretty like early game. I think they should make sure that the passive and the ultimate shouldn't be the same range. Like I definitely think the ultimate should be like slightly bigger. It just make it feel a bit more.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'm definitely a little out of tune with Apex, but I don't know, just a scenario I thought of is like, would it be helpful like late game, like if you needed meds or something to pop her ult?
Late game?
In like
late game?
Like you just kind of loot all the meds?
You'll typically use the ultimate late game to armor swap or to, get like some extra shield batteries or meds, like kind of like you mentioned.
Get that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess does it work on the loot crates or is it just floor?
Yeah, it works on body crates.
Gotcha.
Oh damn.
Yeah, so you could be like in a sniper position and just kind of get the armor.
Yeah, you could just grab some like really good armor that's nearby instead of cycling through like 10 bodies.
Honestly, PUBG is #1 battle royale.
Carson?
PUBG was the worst battle royale I ever played. It looked like garbage and it ran like hot garbage, but it was fun garbage to play with.
It's so much fun.
I hate the.
I wouldn't play with garbage personally.
The vehicles are unmatched in my opinion.
Yeah, what do you mean unmatched? Yeah, they blow up.
Yeah, that's
fun.
That's the best part.
Flipping randomly, exploding, just like hitting the tiniest little curve, and you're like in Pachinki.
You're gone.
All of a sudden.
I love that.
Yeah, it's
I
the
love
best.
that.
Wait, but did you guys hear about the ranked mode coming to PUBG?
No way.
Yeah, it's on.
Oh, really?
They don't. It's on the Steam News. I saw it this morning. It was the dev letter. It was talking about ranked mode.
I'm so bad at the game. I can't do it.
Yeah, let me see.
I've never played PUBG.
So
here's the.
Are you serious?
Really?
All right,
I played it once, and it was in a LAN cafe, and
Ew.
I just, it was great computers. Like, it was because the game was free when I went to play it.
The ones in LA are gross.
Oh, really?
Man, if Apex is what you've been playing, PUBG must like feel like the slowest battle royale in the world.
I don't know. Apex is pretty slow, like when you get to the higher ranks.
What?
Because everybody plays ring, and then nobody, like the way that the game works is you can basically just dive into the ring at the last second, and like 10 squads will do that, and it's just chaos.
That's.
Oh, I see what you mean. I just meant like character movement, like full sprint in PUBG
yeah.
is like.
Well, when I got back to CS:GO after playing like 8 hours of Apex, I'm like, why am I so slow? I'm holding sprint. Like I'm holding my sprint key and it makes me walk. So I'm like even slower when I go to switch back.
Dude, game pacing is so different. Like PUBG, you never know where you're getting shot from. You might not see anybody for 30 minutes.
And then you just die.
Oh, Josh, speaking of that, I always take pride in the fact that like switching mechanics between games, like I have that locked down. I never jumble up my keys. Never jumble up.
I feel like I'm unlearning. If I play a day of like Modern Warfare and then go to try and play Valorant or anything else, like I feel like I'm unlearning. And then I come back and I'm like, teach me what WASD means.
I think like Valorant and CS, even though they're more similar than other things, are the ones that like I get most mixed up with because they're like such tiny different.
Fair, yeah. That's interesting though with the PUBG ranks because they just added bots too.
Yeah, I was just actually about to mention the ranking.
Wait.
The ranking goes. It's just like Siege in a way. It goes bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, and then instead of champion, it's master.
Wait, so did they added like AI to like unranked or
Like
to ranked as
Fortnite?
well?
I'm not too sure about ranked. It doesn't say.
Sounds like Ring of Elysium.
Yeah, it's very
Fortnite did
similar.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
It's
when
really
you have like a
weird.
game full of bots, it feels dead.
Yeah.
It's too easy.
Because no one's just inting.
Fortnite is so sweaty.
No bots. No bots. There's no bots and there's no red zone.
I think Fortnite is the sweatiest of the BR.
Fortnite's untouchable right now. If you if you stopped at all, I don't think you can get back in.
I can't. It's impossible.
Like I cannot build to save my life, literally.
I'll like snipe a kid and then I'll clip him or some shit. Not like kill him, and then he'll build a whole tower, and I'm just like I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I just turn around and I leave. I don't want to play.
Guy built on you, you just go AFK right then and there.
Yeah. I think I like launch like Fortnite like once every 3 months just to like apparently
Dude.
go to a Travis Scott concert or like whatever. Like
I almost went to that, but
it's
like
actually pretty nice.
Epic Games and Fortnite constantly have updates, which is why I stopped opening it.
True.
And the updates take forever. Epic Games needs to fix their.
Oh my god, COD updates are ridiculous.
Oh,
Yikes.
That's a whole
like,
topic in itself.
I've
It's
not
like
played
here,
COD.
it's another game. It's like a game over and over again that they keep on.
Well, yeah, so we're
Hard
gonna all
thing.
get shuffled right now. Hopefully he comes back. And
Like
Yeah,
I said,
good.
there you go.
Same spot.
I told you it happened.
Perfect.
It just made me huge and I was like everybody for a second. But that's awesome.
On stream, it looks like Sandy Pickles or Josh's little camera box thing, whatever, was just a picture, I think, of Fastr's bed. I removed it after a while.
Josh, you know what that means.
Do I? I mean,
I don't know. Should we move on? Talk about the COVID
we should.
Yes.
COVID update.
It's a pretty big
campus.
thing.
Yeah. That's a tough one. What do you guys like how you guys I guess suppose I'll just explain it again for those that don't know or just so we're all
Let's
on the
just
same
explain
page.
it, and then we'll just go around. I think that's our best way to take it down.
Yeah, so I guess just overall, the most important takeaways are classes resume August 24th. 24th? What number did I just make up? August 24th. In person, besides like large lectures and like some exceptions, will continue to be remote. And then like obviously there's a lot of policies, like guidelines, students and faculty have to wear masks, that kind of stuff. They're doing like order ahead for the food, which that's a whole nother point. Ordering UMC attendees ahead. And then after fall break, it goes remote. So you don't come back from Thanksgiving break. You finish the class, and I guess, I mean, what? It'll be like a week of class and then finals remotely.
Something
Yeah.
like that. I'm only in like half of my classes I've signed up for. Other two are on like.
What do you
waiting list,
mean?
So
Like you're in
I'm still trying to figure
waitlist?
stuff. Yeah, dude. Kind of sucks.
Dang.
How are you on?
Yeah.
waitlist?
I don't know. Personally, I'm.
I feel like less people would be here. I'll be honest.
Dude, I'm an art major. Art classes fill up so quick.
I imagine you have a lot of studio classes then, right?
Yeah, so last semester I took 2 studio classes. I'm going to take another 2 studio classes. But there's always only like one meeting time with 18 spots.
What happened to those when they went remotely? How like when we
So-
went remote?
I took an intermediate drawing class with a professor that was like very not into grading. He's more like he wants you to enjoy the process sort of thing. So he was just like, turn in your portfolio by this point. If you need an extension past like the actual finals deadline, he was like, just tell me. And like I'm still doing that extension right now. I'm supposed to turn in my
Gamer
portfolio
vibe.
tomorrow.
I just finished
yeah.
my Maymester class.
I'm about to finish mine. Too.
Yeah, and like my grade is already in. He just wants to see my work at the end of it.
That's
But,
nice. Yeah.
And then my other one, which is a digital art class, it was really strict because like you had to be on top of everything. And she, if anything, it felt like she added more work. So that kind of blew. But
She's like digital classes, more digital work.
exactly. actually sucks so bad. But it's dependent on the class. Like, if the professor is not into that stuff, he'll just have you send an email of like high quality photos of your work, or like if it's a digital class, everything's already online.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
I mean, it's those classes are already pretty laid back. I just have to stay motivated.
Fair enough.
I think that's something we'll see with the fall, like the classes. Like, I think when we remote, it was just like professors were scrambling to just like make it work.
Yeah.
But I think with the fall, it'll be much more prepared for the sections that are online and stuff like that.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of the my professors, at least for last semester, you know, they weren't very tech savvy. Like my geology professor, he had no idea what he was doing. My geography, sorry, not geography. He had no idea what he was doing with Canvas, and then he had to do everything online, so he was just lost. And then other professors are just are good at it. So I don't know. It kind of varies with each one.
My Greek literature class, absolute boomer, no idea what he was doing. I passed I turned it to pass fail, thank God, because I passed it by 0.8%.
Oh my God.
But, he had no idea what he was doing online, so it was kind of a mess.
Yeah. Well, were y'all's expectations met with the fall announcement, or were you kind of expecting more or less?
I was kind of expecting that.
I was expecting a hybrid. I was expecting hybrid, honestly.
Yeah.
I almost didn't expect us to go back for the first semester.
Well, okay, so what's the difference between what we have and a hybrid? Are they similar? Are they the same, or?
Hybrid would be large classes were entirely online, small classes would be normal.
Is that not the case?
No.
I don't know. I didn't read the email.
So it's like,
I thought there
there
was.
are too many words. There are too many words. I was not going to.
I know. It's
They
just,
say flexible too much, in my opinion. I didn't. I got lost. I'll be honest.
I like the announcements when they don't provide any information. They just send you infographics and Venn diagrams. Here's our goals and our plans.
Look at the pretty picture.
Mm-hmm. I look at it on the level of like, do I move into an apartment to go from August to October, and then I won't be in a physical classroom from the end of November until the middle of January when we start spring.
Yeah.
So it's what lease am I signing?
What
do I stay home?
What I'm worried about, the housing stuff that's the part that I'm struggling a lot with, especially because out of state, it just makes it way more difficult. But the thing I'm worried about, how is studying abroad gonna work?
I don't think it's
canceled.
gonna work.
I
Pretty
want
sure.
to study abroad, but I don't even know if I should start the process now.
I don't think it's.
I don't think you
it's
can.
going. Yeah, I know semester at sea those programs. I know those are canceled for the fall.
How about
I was
Most
study
studying
European
abroad
countries
online?
I was
Yeah.
planning to study abroad for second semester, but I still don't even know if we can make it to that yet.
Yeah.
If they're plans.
Honestly, I would wait till next fall and then maybe.
My senior year.
That's not too bad
You
though.
could just not go.
That's
Not go.
Carson.
Yeah, we need you for CS. Come on.
Carson, you're currently a
you're
junior,
right.
right? Are you going?
No,
into
I'm a sophomore, and I'm out of state. So
So am I the only one going into my senior year then?
I'm a junior. I'm a
going
junior.
to junior.
So we're good.
Robert's gonna be a senior.
Yeah, I'll be a senior.
That's
Robert
breaking
is
news.
senior.
Dude, right?
I thought Robert was a freshman. F in the chat.
Oh, really?
I wish he was a freshman.
I thought Robert was a junior like me.
I thought he was.
Baby face, man.
Baby face.
Because you just came in to the staff team, so I figured you were fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Fresh meat.
Yeah. Hey, you joined last summer. I don't want to hear it.
Exactly. Well, I am a freshman.
Oh, wait.
Yes, I was.
I thought you were. Oh, whatever. Dude, I thought
Wait,
you were junior.
I told you I'm older than
All out of
him.
whack. It's crazy.
Yeah.
My brain hurty.
But
All right. Well.
yeah.
we
But
got
let's
the-
continue.
got some-
Yeah, I think we covered it.
going
I
on.
think we'll figure it out. Everyone will make their own decisions. I think esports is getting a huge push from this. We got mentioned.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
It's better than nothing at this point.
Got an
I think
indirect mention.
I think at the end of the day, it's gonna affect us negatively, just like it affects a lot of other organizations on campus. It'll affect recruitment, incoming students knowing about our organization, our potential to run big events like we've done in the past. But it's definitely going to have positives that other orgs or other aspects of the CU community aren't going to get. So it's kind of a balancing act.
It's true. I'm definitely gonna miss. I love all the CU gaming events. I've been to whenever I've been here, I've been to one. So I'm gonna miss those a lot because those are very enjoyable. But I definitely think CU gaming has the potential to use this and maybe not grow as much as we did, but we can still function compared to other clubs and organizations. Like
do we have
Fastrr saying.
Do we have any new CU gaming stats? Like, do we have more people in our Discord now? I haven't gone.
We
through the
definitely
introductions in a
do.
while.
I think Carson
A lot
would
of
know
people-
on that.
Yeah, a lot of people come from Reddit. We will probably have a Reddit push.
Oh, we got a new
Of course.
introduction today, actually.
We always have a few introductions every day or so.
Was
But
it
I, don't know,
third?
I found about the club on r/CU Boulder. I know a lot of other people did. Yeah, I think the subreddit's a very good place for people.
Do
to
people
find
go
us.
on that subreddit a lot? I actually do not go on there.
We have a
Fair,
subreddit.
Yeah.
So I just made one. We gotta get it up and running, but the college itself, r/CU Boulder, has one, and it's got definitely its own niche, like community inside jokes, the whole buff bus bad thing.
Buff bus
You guys
bad.
are familiar with that?
Hey,
Buff
I
bus
kind of
bad.
enjoy the buff. No,
Don't go on Reddit.
It's bad, but it's also essential at the same time. Somehow, it's unavoidable. Yeah,
I don't know.
People are kind of on here a lot. What the heck?
it's a
People are
lot.
constantly
think-
posting.
I think the last thing in regards to kind of the COVID update and the announcement is going to be, what are the regulations for in-person meetings and events? Because I didn't read through the whole thing, and I don't know what information is out there. But I know from the esports side of the org, we're going to be looking to just grow the team environments and focus more on getting smaller groups of people together, especially within their competitive teams or within the individual game communities that we have here in the org. But I don't know what stuff is limited for larger events.
I hope Cosmos is gonna do well.
I'm sure they're fine. They're fine.
Dude, that's like an
Dude,
essential
they have
meeting place.
they have a full delivery service.
That's an essential meeting place for new groups and teams.
Mhm.
Actually,
That's
we never
true.
went to Cosmos.
I don't know. Shall we talk about video games now?
Yeah.
The
Let's
whole,
do that.
the whole
That's
thing
the
we're
whole
here
point
to
we're
do.
here.
Yeah. Let's start with
Let's do that.
Crucible, shall we?
Oh, yeah.
Who's played Crucible here so far? Because I haven't.
I
at
didn't
all.
even know that was a thing.
I
Played
haven't.
it.
Does
You
launching
played
it count? Like,
I played it on
Technically.
release.
How is it? Give us your first impressions. Go.
I don't know. So the game itself definitely feels new. It feels kind of like it's in beta. It was definitely not as hyped for release as a lot of other games. I think it's kind of hard being a new game, right? As Valorant's releasing. It just there was no attention to it, and obviously they paid some streamers to stream it, but I don't think the viewership was pretty low. But the game
I
itself,
didn't even know it was a game.
yeah, a lot of people don't know about its release. So for background, it's a game released by Amazon. It's their new gaming development organization that they have, and it's got 3 different game modes. There's a 2-person battle royale mode where you drop in out of this egg ship, which is what all the game modes have. It's an egg-shaped ship, which is pretty funny. So there's a battle royale with a normal ring and tons of normal stuff going on with the rest of the game modes. And then there's a game mode called Heart of the Hives, where you have to kill these giant hives and then capture the hearts.
What the?
And the first person to capture 3 hearts wins. It's kind of sick. I feel like it's pretty unique. I haven't played a lot of Overwatch or a lot of other hero shooters or Paladins.
I just saw that it's free to play. I guess this is supposed to. I mean, people are saying it has potential to be a good free to play game. I guess it's supposed to be sort of a TF2.
Yeah. I feel like it's pretty similar to TF2 in
Replacement.
terms of the feeling that I get when I play it. It's definitely free to play. It feels kind of casual.
TF2's in the dumps right now, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, it's so bad. So many cheaters. Its servers feel dead.
Would you say that Crucible is almost similar to Battleborn and how it released?
I'm not too familiar with Battleborn.
Battleborn, wasn't that the one made by Gearbox?
Yeah, it was
I just know it tanked.
That was the one-
it was basically
Yeah.
it was it wasn't it was another Overwatch kind of game, right? It had its own unique elements, but since Overwatch was out, that was the game, right? So it's just like, I think it's kind of similar in the same case in a way, except it wasn't hyped up as much.
I don't know.
But Crucible is just
people
getting...
had high expectations, or like they wanted to have high expectations because they made like Borderlands 2 right before that.
That's true.
So like people wanted it to be a good game, but like it just wasn't good enough for it to combat.
I mean, I don't feel like the game doesn't feel like it's designed to be an esport. Like, I'm sure that there are aspects of it that would make it a like viable esport, but to me, it just feels like they were just pushing as hard as they could to make it different and feel different and play different than other games. So yeah, I think the game modes are pretty unique. I mean, obviously the battle royale is pretty basic, but it's just kind of a necessary thing at this day and age.
I feel like it can't be an esport. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I mean, like, whole, like, no voice chat, no mini map. Like, I feel like it can't be an esport without that.
Crazy.
Yeah, there's definitely problems with there being no voice chat.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting that the no voice, like a game comes out with no voice chat, like weeks or days after the whole Twitch Safety Advisory Council and that whole controversy. But
oh yeah, I didn't
that's a prickly subject. So
yeah, let's not get into that.
We just won't.
Yeah, I do want to see more games into esports, even like ones like game modes that are unconventional. Like I know Battlefield like isn't really much of an esport type of game, but like I'd love to play that in a competitive
That'd be
scene.
so much fun. That'd be so much fun.
Mordhau.
I'm telling you, Mordhau team eventually.
So the other night, my friend and I were playing Mordhau, like after not playing for a while because the servers were dead. And then like all of a sudden in game, like I spot Leo in the chat. So
no way.
We just played like for the rest of the night, and it was a lot of fun.
I killed him too. It was really bad. I saw him and I just like chopped him. And I went after him. He's like looking at me.
Mordhau's the one. Do they have like the Revolutionary War mods like associated with that, or is that Mountain Blade? I'm thinking of.
I think it's Mountain Blade because Mordhau is just medieval fighting.
It's all medieval fighting.
I think it was Mountain Blade then, because like in like high school, I was like totally involved in this like Revolutionary War like clan for Mountain Blade.
Was fun.
I was in like TeamSpeak, and we would literally like 64 people would line up, and there'd be one guy speaking, and like it was organized battle. I don't know. It was.
That sounds amazing.
It was an interesting phase.
But I was like, if Mordhau had like voice chat, it'd be pretty bad, but it'd be fun too.
I don't know.
Terrible.
I get like the dangers and like the toxicity and unfair elements, but I just want proximity chat and everything.
I love proximity chat.
Like,
especially when you like kill someone.
I've never played a game with proximity chat. Really? Like I never have.
Have you heard of a game called PUBG? PUBG's got
PUBG, H1Z1. Oh, if you could play those games in their prime with proximity chat.
Wait, does Rust have proximity chat?
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's what I was gonna say. Rust has proximity chat. The ones that have proximity chat have the best like funny
content.
Clips.
Yeah, the best clips of anything. Like COD doesn't really. It's not really proximity chat, but like when you kill someone, they give you that like 2-second window of hearing something from them, and it's usually them just like raging.
Like I think it's great, but
it's amazing.
But it's like what made them think like, all right, guys, we're gonna let everyone hear the rage coming from their enemies.
The Mordhau community is pretty bad. The Mordhau community is pretty bad.
Like if you looked at the all chat, it's almost like on par with like not League. It's just toxic. It's just toxic.
No, I'd say League is better than that. Mordhau is pretty obscene. Like you can say whatever you want and get away with it.
Yeah. Well, recently they start putting
like
some
Zoom chat when
you've got some non-PC people in there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But whatever. I think voice chat, like I find it so much fun, but I mean there are obvious dangers to it.
Exactly. Alrighty.
Rust though.
Yeah.
I think we should have like a Rust team, a Rust night,
a Rust clan.
How do you even do that?
A Rust clan.
I think Robert's gonna want some Last Oasis if we're.
I think that's all Clovis. Clovis can have all of that. That game, that's a great game, but it grew large.
Find new games. I haven't been able to find new games that are like that competitive for an esport.
I mean,
how do you mean?
I don't think I could.
Like any popular games that haven't like an esport aspect or that are like viable for esports, that are like super competitive or there haven't been like a new wave of like genre, I guess, of games.
Oh, I see.
For esports.
That's fair.
I think that's partially what Crucible tried to do. Yeah. You can go ahead, Josh.
Okay.
I think it would be pretty, like challenging for the industry if there was a new genre popping up every year. Like, obviously we've had battle royales kind of blow up over maybe the past 2 years. I don't remember when Fortnite really popped off.
End of 17.
Okay, yeah. So maybe like 2 to 3 years kind of it's been like battle royales and tactical shooters. But I think if like a whole new genre was just coming in all the time, it'd be just overwhelming for people to pick what to play. Like personally, I play Rocket League, CSGO, Apex, and Valorant, and I play all of them like ranked, like try hard, trying to get the highest rank I can, and that's like impossible to do. Like just playing all 4.
Yeah.
You're just inferior. You're just weak.
You're just
You just can't do it.
Yeah, I don't have the skill to just like get the high. I'm not like a Shroud. I can't just like play any game and get the top rank, top 500.
Yeah.
League of Legends. I tried to grind that once. I'm never doing that. I can't stand that game.
I tried to. It's just rough.
I play League all the time. Don't get me wrong, but I cannot stand a rank experience.
Yeah, I've never really played League, but personally, when it comes to League, I'm more fascinated by the storylines and like the content that comes out of the game, because obviously a lot of esports organizations like kind of put all their attention to League, and so it looks like they usually come out with great like story content or like documentary content and that sort of stuff.
Nice. Fair enough.
Josh, do you have 2 fans in your background?
I don't. I might. I only see one.
I see
2 towers. Yeah.
There are 2 towers back there, behind you, by your window.
Oh yeah. It gets hot in Texas.
You're in Texas?
Yeah.
Dude, he's a Texas.
It's hot, dude. It gets like 100 degrees
all the time. Ever since like the semester.
No, dude, I've always said it. I always say y'all.
Yeah.
He emphasizes it more.
Oh please.
Whatever.
All right, shall we move to the next topic? Or
might as well.
Carson, do you have anything to add?
I don't know. Do you guys think that Amazon New Crucible was going to be a flop, or thought it was a flop before it released? Because I saw nothing. I saw an article the week before it released, and 30 seconds of gameplay, and that was it before it released. Do you think Amazon, with being a literal monopoly, could have just made it popular?
Characters
I
look
think
a
they
little
could have.
interesting.
I think they could have done something. They just didn't know what to do, maybe? I mean, is this
people have really high expectations for the game, like unrealistically high expectations for the game. I mean, just because it's Amazon, like it sounds like they're pretty new to the industry. I don't see why they should like be able to create a powerhouse game just like out of nowhere. I feel like it needs some natural growth and development and feedback.
Even if they hire
actually,
the best people, I don't think it's
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, Carson. I think you know this, but they're just the publisher, and the game was developed by someone else. But if anything, I feel like Amazon should have invested. Like, I feel like they could have easily bought like a smaller end studio. Like, I don't know, like I don't know a name off the top of my head, but I think that's kind of what it is. And then there's other like business standpoints where like I think the sponsored streams were like I think I saw like Myth and Summit doing them like a day after. It's like there was no hype on the day. But
so
at the
there was
same
a lot
time,
of issues with launch.
Yeah,
like
the
it didn't
servers.
launch on time. It launched. I don't even know when it launched, to be honest, because it was supposed to launch at noon. I think what was it, like May something? Maybe like a couple weeks ago. And it just like apparently, as I've heard, Steam is the one who didn't release the game on time, or like there were problems with the game because it was going through Steam for release. And then they just didn't release it on time, and then people were getting frustrated with that.
Another really interesting play, by the way, going to Steam. Steam definitely being probably the best place, but seeing as Amazon owns Twitch, to not put it on the Twitch launcher or even just its own launcher, like that's a weird play. It's smart, no doubt. Like Steam is going to be the largest player base, but it's weird. I think they were cautious in like if they made it like if they gave everybody at the top like a sponsored stream, they pushed it through Twitch Prime, they put ads. I think it would like maybe even flop more because people are like, "What is this game?" Like they're just pushing this so hard, it just feels like a giant ad.
Yeah.
So I think they might have been playing it safe there.
Epic Games has been pumping out free games.
Really?
Yeah.
Like
Very
GTA.
true.
A
GTA
lot
is
of people.
huge. That's crazy that they did that.
The new one is Civ 6.
Yeah, Civ 6 is
I
insane.
And Turns out I might have an addiction to Civ 6 now because I went to bed like at 3 o'clock.
I'm so bad at those games.
I'm awful. Apparently, I'm not playing correctly, but as someone that gets bored of games really easily and can't play games more than an hour at a time, I played for like 6 hours straight into the night.
That's what Civ will do to you. That's what Civ will do to you.
Oh my God.
The worst part is both the games I have, or I already have GTA on Steam, and I already have Civ 6 on Steam. It's like I just want, like, I see all these cool games. I'm like, I want a cool game.
I know. But the way they're doing it right now is super exciting. Like previous to this, they were just doing like 2 free like mid-tier to like just indie games like every 2 weeks, and it was like really hit or miss. Like one week it was like an early Assassin's Creed or like a Far Cry or Just Cause or something, and then like
they've had some good.
It's like really mixed, but yeah.
I mean, they're having like a big sale right now, and like every time you buy a game or something, you get like a $10 coupon. I think I got Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Origins from that for like $30 total.
What?
Sure.
That's
awesome.
pretty awesome.
It's pretty addictive too. Like every 10 you spend, you get another $10 coupon, right? Yeah.
Oh man,
I haven't bought a game in like 5 years.
Really? Yeah.
Cannot really.
I don't think.
I was in that place for a little while. Yeah.
Because the last game that I bought is probably Rocket League, and that excludes like I've probably bought a couple things in between, but they probably weren't anything major. Like, yeah, I don't think I've really bought.
Last game I bought was Doom Eternal.
Oh, you were talking about that for a while.
Dude, I love it. It's so good.
Yeah.
Well, I've got my Epic library up. I haven't gotten all the games since it started out, but so we got Civ 6, Kingdom Come Deliverance, For Honor, Subnautica. That was like the biggest one at the start. We got.
Oh yeah, dude. People tell me they're just like, why would I get that if I'm never gonna play it? I'm like, I don't care. It's free. Just grab it.
Dude, I don't have any space.
No, that's such a bad thing, dude. Like
Rainbow Six is already on my external SSD. Like,
there's so many things I've done that with. Fallout, Witcher, like I'm like, oh my god, it's 75% off, $15 for this AAA title. I'll play it one day. No, never done.
You haven't played Witcher 3 yet?
But if
I haven't.
You have to. It's like
I love that game.
Okay.
I know people talk way too much about it, but to call it a religious experience, I would say it's that good.
I'll get into Witcher 3 if you can at least look at any gameplay of Detroit Become Human. I think Leo was in my stream when I was playing that. That game hurt me on
that game makes you
every level possible, dude. Like I literally had trouble sleeping after the stream.
Oh my!
Really?
It's crazy.
I didn't know it hurt you that bad.
I remember when that game came
I'm
out.
exaggerating a little bit, but it's definitely and it doesn't help when you have friends in the chat too saying, you chose the wrong thing. You got the bad ending. Now everyone's gonna die. But yeah, amazing game.
How do you guys feel with horror games?
Not very good at them.
Hate it, but I'll do it for the content.
I haven't played very many, but I feel like I would enjoy playing them.
The kind of horror that like scares me. Like I'm fine with jump scares and stuff. The ones that scare me the most are ones where like they chase you and stuff. So like Outlast, I can't stand Outlast.
What about something like Dead by Daylight, where it's like players chasing you?
I cannot stand that. I love that game. I cannot.
I like watching
even
horror
worse.
games.
It's just like
because I play with friends who I know, and like the moment they're chasing me, if I have to like hurdle over anything, like I literally jump out of my chair. I can't.
Josh, have you ever played Deceit at all?
No,
I haven't. But okay, I've been looking for opinions on it. On the game, the if it's just like a fun casual.
Yeah,
experience.
it is more like casual. It's free, it's casual, and it's definitely softer than like Dead by Daylight. But it's a game that like breaks up friendships in a sense, because the entire game you're trying to figure out who are the two like infected or monsters, and like everything you just want to blame your friends, like especially if you're infected. So it's the worst and the best feeling.
Games like Trouble in Terrorist Town, I lose interest in games like that where you're trying to figure out who's who. Mm-hmm. Like you just I find
mainly because you have that one friend that just shoots everybody, and you're just like, well, okay.
Mm-hmm. I think it takes a lot of like. Funny. I don't know, social structuring. Like everyone has to be on the same page of how to play.
There was a game that was kind of similar to Dead by Daylight. I can't remember. I remember it like.
I think you're probably thinking of last year.
Yeah, it was
potentially.
It was
the
an
game
old
on
game. It's called
Boulder.
There's one called Death. It was Death Garden. That was That was like a very similar game to Dead by Daylight. There's like one warden type person while everybody just runs around and stuff. But it looked like it had much more interesting movement and mechanics because it's very like modern, like bio-mechanical. I don't know. But I just didn't do the best, I think. Like, I just didn't get the most recognition or whatever.
Okay.
But it looked fun.
Yeah.
I think those kinds of games, like, I would like to see that genre a bit more. Is like the warden and like cops and robbers type of game.
Yeah. Definitely a lot of other games out there.
In today's climate, it's hard to get a new game out there that'll like do that well, unless you're like a #1 company like Valorant or like Riot.
Yeah, without it like getting compared to other games, you know, it's hard to have something like that. That's unique.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well,
Sort of.
we've pretty much talked about everything but what we have on our topic list. So I think we might as well utilize Josh's esports intellect while he's here. So Carson, you want to bring us into our next topic?
So we got either Genji's partnering with Eastern Michigan University, or we could talk about the changes to RLCS. Both are fine.
Can we cover both?
Yeah,
Or do we only... Okay.
So I guess Genji, the esports organization, partnered with Eastern Michigan University to build an esports program beginning in autumn. It's a multi-year agreement. The program supports academic enrollment goals, a lot with I guess they have programs for esports and gaming, and they also want to build their esports program. I have honestly not heard of Eastern Michigan University esports at all. For the most part, their social media either seems dead or small to begin with. I love CU's current support, but I really wish CU could just go out and partner with Genji or anybody else to just drop anything on this. They take the full like gaming space support directly from Genji. It's just
that would be amazing if we just got like a random.
Yeah, it's kind of a stretch, but like if an organization did something like that and like they had like a coach or two help teams out, that would be pretty insane.
Well, what I
see huge results, like great results, you know.
Of course. What I'm most curious about with Genji is that, you know, I've looked into Genji a little bit, and they have a history of working with like I guess youth or high schools, colleges, just really pushing money into supporting esports in the education sector. I'm just curious as to what their like revenue model is, or how many staff that they really have dedicated to the different stuff that they're supporting. Because it's quite a bit. It's not just like one college. They're doing different stuff all across the board. But
where are they located at? Is it a Korean organization?
It's like multinational.
Yeah, so their headquarters is I think it's in LA, and they're originally from Seoul, Korea, as their like their tier 1 league team.
Got it.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of their rosters right now. They actually have they have an all-female Fortnite roster. They have Automatic is on their CS roster right now.
Yeah. They have an NACS team.
Yeah.
Dude, why am I not on that?
I don't recognize a ton of the CS roster names, but I think Automatic, Kusta, and Dap.
They're all like well-known players.
Yeah. Oh, I just looked at it. These are all like.
It's the former Cloud9 roster.
The one who would probably be like the least well-known is Som, but like he's a young upcoming like streamer kid. He's like equivalent to Stewie 2K when he was upcoming. So he's pretty well-known too. Just doesn't he has the least experience, I'd say.
So that's interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I definitely want to see how that plays out. Their partnership with Eastern Michigan. It almost, I don't know if it's exactly this, but it almost feels like maybe the beginning of like an esports like combine, like just getting these college esports players like signed to an org right after, which would just be
that'd be great.
Imagine, wow.
Yeah, I do think that moving forward in the future of the how esports is structured from path to pro, I think it would be great for there to be some sort of special treatment for collegiate players. Maybe, like you mentioned, a combine for top tier collegiate talent, so that the path to pro isn't structured the same as traditional sports, but moving forward there can be a select group of players who have proven themselves in the collegiate environment and mostly are being picked up for their competitive experience in a structured program, which a lot of these like younger talents might not have.
I think like collegiate, it would be nice if collegiate did have like a direct connection to at least give the players like a shot at like the pro scene. Or
It gives them hope,
put them on the right track. But like, I mean, 90% of like getting to pro is just getting your name out there and then hoping somebody like just scouting. I mean, that's normal sports too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I know that like sports, like physical sports have they definitely have scouts that come to games all the time. Like I think if like our organizations were to scout like collegiate teams more, I think that would be like it would give like the scene a bit more hope in terms of.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, people would play it. I feel like they play it more in the hopes of it at least happening. Maybe, I don't know. Just there's a slight ray of hope, you know.
Like even like at this moment in CS, even being on like a collegiate team, like it almost means it doesn't mean much like towards like a career in esports. Like you have to be at the top of collegiate, then you have to go into like IM, MDL, etc.
And yeah, I think that's kind of a good question to ask. Like, while we have some players here too, like I wonder, because like from my understanding, like just whether it is players or even just graphic design or getting a market, any facet of esports right now, it feels really solo and individualized. Like you just have to make a name for yourself. So I wonder, like so far, I mean, like we have limited power, but we're still trying to grow and do everything we can. But how do you feel like CU Gaming has supported you versus before when you were just on an individual? Do you think that boosts you or just the collegiate scene as a whole?
I definitely get more motivation playing with CU. Like it gives me more hope that like maybe I can make something out of this. Rather than like if I remember, so I'm a sophomore or I'm becoming a junior, but I didn't join CU Gaming my freshman year, and I was just playing games with it. Like I wanted to get to like a high point of CS, but like I never really had motivation because it just didn't seem plausible, just because I was pretty much playing solo the whole time.
Yeah.
But like playing with CU and like getting more involved, it definitely gives you like an idea of what it takes to get up there.
Yeah, I think that personally as a player and kind of as a staff on the esports side, I think playing for your university really yields the benefits that the university is there to provide. So for CU specifically, moving forward, if we're able to provide more media content and more stuff highlighting player performance and personality, I think it'll really provide a big incentive for players to want to play for the university and really enhance their experience as a player, and helping them get to that pro level. Because without an organization backing them, it's their responsibility to put their name out there and build that brand around themselves and their individual brand. Whereas if you're at a university who has a strong staff team behind them, they can really push your name out there, and you have a brand that you can kind of partner with or develop with individually.
Which is an interesting thing, because like big organizations, like across social media, they're constantly present. Like their YouTube channels are huge and they're always posting stuff. But like universities, you almost never find videos of like modern like content. Like if you look at, like I remember I was looking at like old like CU CSGO stuff, man, they were like years ago. But you have nothing on us. Like I know I said I would work on a montage for our team, but I just haven't got a chance to work on it.
Yeah.
But like content like that like really helps. Like I think if all universities were to start doing that, it would like really change the scene up.
Yeah, that's where. Go ahead, Leo.
I was just gonna say, I was saying before, like it would give players more hope of eventually turning this into something more than just collegiate esports. Like, they wouldn't have the mindset of like, oh, I'm just doing this, for fun. They would actually think that maybe I can turn this into something. Maybe I can actually keep going with this after college. Who knows? I mean, with CU Gaming, I'll just ties into my experience. Like joining the Siege team was probably, it was the greatest thing I've done so far with like gaming such, but just because it allowed me to meet people and learn more about Siege, because I've definitely learned so much about the game and I've met some good teammates. It's just, I don't know, I feel like if the university did give more backing to the esports scene as a whole, it would definitely yield a lot better results, that would,
Yeah.
Yeah. I
is
think
cool.
that's where the university support really ties in, especially here with Eastern Michigan, is by having Gen G step in and put money and resources into their program. It does a lot of those things that we brought up, like getting content out there, pushing out brand, individual brands for some of the players, and developing their path to pro. Kind of realistically.
Yeah, like obviously you still have to earn your way up there, but like nowadays,
Yeah, of course.
Like in current day, sort of the path that just seems kind of plausible, or just like one that you can kind of imagine a straightforward path, is like basically becoming a streamer and like doing so well that like a team notices you, and then they add you, which is like exactly what I said about that Som kid on Gen G. He was literally just a streamer. He played amazingly like on his streams, and then they ended up scouting him and then adding him to the roster. At this point, like that kind of seems like the most, I guess, like the method that people find the most hope in, but like it's a pretty big gamble.
Yeah.
Like you're not.
No, it's such a gamble.
And it's a risk, yeah. And I think that's probably a huge benefit for playing with CU Gaming. Is I think it's communicated, it's known that like the people you're playing with, they have the same mindset as you. And I don't have necessarily a ton of experience like finding a roster via Discord, or just like playing like in a Face-It tournament and whatever, and just like accumulating friend groups and like trying it and like seeing if it works, but having a tangible roster and like people that sign contracts that like they're in a very good mindset to compete. I think it's really powerful.
I think it's really important because something that isn't talked about, or it's hard to find this, but like playing with a competitive team in like a tournament or league, almost, it kind of gives you that sort of reality check that like there are a lot of players that are better than you, and if you want to get to the top spot, you got to work for it. Because like if you don't do that and you just try and grind your way up, you're not going to understand that like there's so many players that are better.
Yeah, I think a lot of people that they try and pursue a pro career without treating it like a full-time job, or like treating it as if they are already in that role as a pro on a pro roster. So kind of backing like what Josh says there, I think that's a huge aspect. And going off of what Robert said, I think that the biggest selling point for a collegiate player going into the pro scene is that they have experience playing with players locally, maybe in an in-person LAN environment, or working with players that they know like on a personal face-to-face level, which is something that they have to do at the pro level anyways. It's not very realistic that you're just going to be playing with people online in an online environment all the time. So I think a lot of these pro teams who've picked up talent from CU or other colleges have definitely looked at their ability to play under pressure, like on a stage or in a LAN environment with players that they know personally.
Yeah,
It's a good point.
I think the LAN experience is unbelievably important. It's hard to get that, but like
unless you're in COVID, then it's like all online.
It's hard
Pop
to get
off.
It's hard to get the LAN experience, but I think
It's worth it.
It's pretty top tier. It's a great experience.
When the R6 Black team went to the LAN event in Denver,
Oh, that looked like so much fun.
it was so much fun. I mean, I didn't get to play, so I didn't get to really experience it, but it was really cool to see all these different types of players, and the facility was really cool too. But it definitely was like a reality check to me. I'm like, I need to get better. Yeah. So I feel like those LAN events are almost like necessary for players in order for like to grow,
Yeah.
Because that's how you meet new people. But you don't just meet them like in the lobby before your game starts. Like I don't know, maybe you might introduce yourself. I don't know. Yeah. It's just something. Being in person just changes the experience, in my opinion.
Right. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I can't wait to, I don't know, maybe I will, maybe I won't, but just watch like a podcast like this one day in like the distant future and just be like, wow, look how far we've come. I mean,
that'd be really nice.
Yeah. All right. Kidding me? Whoever's doing social media for CU Gaming in 10 years, clip this, post it on Twitter on May 27th, and tell me how the esports scene is doing. Tag me at Robert
Make it
Shock.
sound
could
like
be-
boomers.
It could be in the complete dumps for all you know.
Who
You know,
knows,
in-
dude?
you know, in
Maybe
10
like
years,
VR
they'll
took
be-
off or something.
They'll be looking at episode 7 of the podcast.
Yeah.
By the end of the year,
right.
it could be.
I mean,
extinct.
Robert, I can schedule a tweet to go out in 10 years if you want me to do that.
Are you serious?
Ooh.
I think I can schedule a tweet out to go. Let me see how long it
do
goes.
like a time capsule. I'm sure there's
That
some
would be
sort of- I'm sure there's some sort of online time capsule service
That's so cool,
where you can
though.
like
Probably.
The furthest I can do is 2 years, it looks like, to schedule tweets.
He'll be gone anyways.
I'll set like a reminder on my phone for like I don't know,
10 years.
a decade from now, apparently. Like
Will you have that phone though?
iCloud, but
Ooh,
whatever.
yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Come
my
on,
iCloud
boomer.
is a mess right now.
Well,
I need
let's move on and talk about the Rocket League related.
I think that's a
Yes.
topic you could bring us into, right? With the RLCS.
Yeah, for sure. So, a couple weeks ago, about a week and a half ago, there was an article released through the Esports Observer talking about basically esports organizations demanding change to the RLCS. And so let me just pull that up real quick. Basically, orgs like BDS, Endpoint, United, G2, Mouse, NRG, Space Station, some of these big name organizations kind of got together and wrote an official letter to the RLCS, the Rocket League Championship Series, demanding change in regards to how, when, and how they release the schedules, overall communication with the way the league is structured and the changes that they're making to the league, and then specifically talking about the in-game cosmetic items that the esports teams have as a revenue stream and kind of restructuring players' ability to support the organizations by purchasing the items whenever they would like, rather than the traditional rotating store system you see in like Fortnite and other games.
Wow.
The,
There's a lot to
the
unpack.
rotating store thing, I don't really agree with that. I find it.
What do you mean?
I mean, I don't.
you agree that there should be a rotating store?
No, I
Like,
don't think there should be one. Like
Yeah.
in most games, I can see from like a business thing, it's like, oh wow, the skin that I've been like looking for finally popped up. I'm definitely gonna buy it now. But like it just seems like such an inconvenience.
I would like to see like a report done where they compare the amount of revenue they get from both models, right? Because
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen a lot of games where, I mean, I think maybe if you look at like EA and some of their like Star Wars games, there's maybe like that you can purchase the characters whenever you want and stuff like that would be a good example. But yeah, like I said, I don't think there's a lot of people who are buying items just because they're rare. I think at the end of the day, it comes down to if you like the item or not.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't think that this necessarily applies to the esports scene inside of that, but I think an example of that can be made today with Fortnite. I somehow my brother was the first one to tell me this, but like a skin that hasn't been released on the item shop since like 2017, like when it was still in its like very early stages, like it was like one of the first paid skins came out today. And it's like, it's just one of those notorious like skins that people like, oh my god, if you had that, you're an OG. And now it's like out today, so now essentially
Anyone can
like
get it.
everybody can have it. And it's just like, there's no more hype for it anymore. So I think just from a business standpoint, you're never going to beat the rotating shop. I think there's a nice medium in between where you have, like Valorant does okay, like you have a longer period, you have a whole week. That might change when they have a lot more skins. And then I think R6 is pretty long term, right? Just in terms of cosmetics.
League of
Cosmetics are just like they'll just come out.
Yeah, how
and
does
then-
League structure it?
So League
there
of Legends,
forever.
the thing is, League of Legends has a lot of content to buy. So like they're not
Okay.
worried about shortage, but like they have a lot of skins you can buy for each champ. But there's also a lot of skins that are like called legacy skins where like they're not available to buy, but maybe during events you can buy them.
Yeah.
Like Halloween, there's like Halloween and Christmas skins that you can buy during those times, and then there's chests that you unlock, like so the hex tech chests, you get those random, or you get those dropped to you if like you play really well in a game, and then like you over time you accumulate these things called key fragments, like randomly from playing, and like if you put 3 key fragments together, you can make 1 key to open up a box.
Okay.
And, like you can get any skin that's like ever existed. Like you have a chance to get any skin that's existed. You can get a good skin, you can get an awful skin. But like
Interesting.
with them, they have a lot of skins that are available for you to buy, and then there's a lot of like good skins that aren't available to you, but you have a chance at getting them at some point, which I think that's cool. But only problem is like League. It's such an like Riot makes their stuff so expensive.
Yeah, for
How
sure.
much are skins in League?
Good ones like nowadays, the ones that like look good are about $10 to $15.
Okay, that's kind of
like,
that's pretty similar to like Siege.
It's pretty
Not
similar.
bad.
But like there are just so many skins and you end up spending so much money. And then they have these ultimate skins, and only like there are only a few of them, but these are like top tier skins that change during the game and stuff. But those are like $30-something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think every game, they all just seem to have their own system for purchasing skins. I mean, if you look at CS:GO, for example, it's like you can kind of purchase any skin you want at any time, but the price is always fluctuating because of the way that their marketplace works, the Steam marketplace and stuff like that. So I think there's a lot of like pros and cons to every system.
Yeah, I think though, like League of Legends, I personally find it to be the best middle ground where like there are a lot of skins available, but there's also like there are some skins that you have a chance at getting that are really nice.
Yeah.
I think to bring it back around, there's certain things that are like grandfathered in, so to speak, like CS:GO cases. CS:GO cases are like almost like it's a part of CS:GO. Like you can't take cases out of CS:GO. Like it's just too much.
It's
of
just
CS
developed
culture at this
too
point.
much.
Even though I tell people like not to open them, like I would be mad if they took it away. Like I love cases.
Mm-hmm. Right. And then there's games like, I think to bring it back around, like I'm saying, to the RLCS situation, like I think COD actually is doing a great job where they have a rotating store, but the franchise store is somewhat independent of that, so you can always buy the team cosmetics whenever you want.
That's good.
And I
Yeah,
think
actually,
that's
the COD store is really cool. That's the one thing I really liked about Modern Warfare was the actual store itself, because it had like all different sections of things. Like they had the operators and such like that. Those skins were there, and then it had guns, and then it had just blueprints, and you can each like go into those categories. And then, like you said, the franchise is just always there. Mm-hmm. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I think like kind of tying it back into the article, it's just that for these organizations who are relying on the cosmetic purchasing to be like a strong revenue stream for them, especially because if they're investing in a game, they have options to invest in numerous different esports titles. If they're going to invest in one, they want to make sure that they're getting as much money out of it as they can, or that the brand that they're building around these players is actually bringing in money. So personally, I think that these items should be available at all times for the esports org branded items, and that sort of stuff. Just because some of the situations that they mentioned in the article was teams are winning championships or tournaments in the off season, or maybe for the major events, and those items aren't available, and people are really interested in buying them, then that's a huge chunk of revenue that they're missing out on.
Oh yeah, League of Legends. So when a team wins Worlds, they make skins based off like a champion of the players choosing, and they do it based off like. Oh yeah, they like.
That's so cool.
It's cool, right? So like, there's a ton of skins that are related to different teams, like SSG, SKT, all this stuff. But throughout the year, they're usually unavailable to buy until like big major events come around, like tournament events. Like when Worlds comes around, all of them are available to buy. When other like big tournaments and LCS events are around, you can buy the skins, things like that.
Yeah.
So they have they have a lot of content that they can. That's why they can do that. But like, I think that is a cool model for them to do.
Siege does not really something similar to that, actually. Siege just has a bunch of like team organizations, and then it just has like one op has it, and it's like, so like Valkyrie will have like Cloud9, and then Visual will have like will be Team
SSG
Liquid
or something.
Yeah, and it's just like there are a lot of there's a lot of organizations on there, so that's pretty cool. But you can't really. That's it. That's it with it. Nothing special.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think we've talked a lot about the in-game purchasing stuff. What do you guys think in regards to the bigger issue, in my opinion, the lack of communication between the organizations and the company themselves who are running the league. That's been rumored to affect the talent for casting, the production team as well. A lot of these people who are relying on the esports industry as a full-time job. What do you think that should be expected of them?
I haven't been following like the connection between that too much. From what I've heard it's like the communication just is lacking where it shouldn't be. Like
we've seen this like across the industry. Yeah. I think not just talking about it in regards to Rocket League specifically, but across the industry for any esports organization. Maybe it's from player to general manager, or from the organization to the league itself. But just that trend of last second decisions in communication.
Yeah, it's definitely a red flag, and I think it definitely needs to be addressed. It needs to be more straightforward. I don't feel like there's room for just like lapse of communication. If you want to be in a professional scene, you want to be treated like any other sport, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Carson, you got anything to add to that?
I mean, I know I haven't really been following Rocket League as much, but if there's an issue in Rocket League, is this issue like across all major leagues? Like, of knowing how Overwatch League has just been a burning mess this past season, have they had their own issues? And if so, why have they only really stayed internally? Because for the most part, from the outside, as a very casual observer that doesn't really follow Rocket League, it seems like everything's going great or fairly good for the most part. But then you got Overwatch, which is just rolling around on fire. You don't hear a peep from any of the organizations that are involved. I mean, a lot of those organizations put $40 million down for a franchise, and if something's going wrong and they lose that investment, they would definitely
speak up about it.
Assuming would speak up about it.
Yeah, for sure. Josh, do you, I don't know if you've been following some of the drama around ESEA, CSGO related stuff, but
actually I've heard some stuff, but what specifically?
Yeah, so I think tying this into CS a little bit and seeing how it's been a problem across different genres. There's been a lot of things regarding the semi-pro, state of CSGO and how the leagues aren't allowing them to reschedule their matches, and they're requiring them. They're making basically customized rules to where they can use quote unquote like a wild card once a league to reschedule a match. They have like literal code names for these different abilities that the team is allowed to use, which is pretty startling to a lot of these semi-pro players, especially guys who are streaming full time or who are working full time and only pursuing a pro career as a part time.
Yeah, so like
or hobby.
Like CS is really the thing that I have the most experience with. Like in CS, the semi-pro scene seems like such a haze. If you let's say you're like doing really well like before semi-pro, like before you even like consider semi-pro, you're like a pretty good player. You're well experienced. You played a lot. Considering like going to see a semi-pro, it already feels like you don't know where to go. Like even if you go semi-pro, you're not really guaranteed like a position on a pro team. You don't know like how many players are there that are competing to get those top spots. And I think like people who try and use esports as like a full-time thing, it's like the gamble just feels too high. It feels like such a high risk for such a little reward at this point.
Yeah.
So I think that like ESEA, even though it's like such a well-known thing, like getting to rank S was sort of like a set way to kind of get your name out there, which is like the number one rank where all the pros play. But like the path there was such a grind, and it almost just felt like it wasn't worth it in the end because you didn't even know like if it would mean anything for your career.
Yeah, I think the biggest controversy when it comes to the league scheduling is that, just kind of as you mentioned, there's no guarantee when you're pursuing a pro career, and what the league is asking of the players is to basically, drop everything they're doing and revolve their entire life around something with no guarantees.
Yeah, and like if they're not going to be communicating like what the outcome is for you or what possible outcomes are for you, nobody's going to want to even try anymore.
Yeah, so there was actually a roster, I think they were called Bad News Bears, just a group of guys pursuing a pro career who made it all the way to the pro league. They qualified through every stage of qualifiers that they had to go pro, and then the league turned around and said, you know what, we're going to do a partnership league with all these esports organizations, and you're cut from that league because you don't have the money to buy in. So they basically did everything they could to make the league, and then as soon as they got there, the league kind of cut them out and said, we're not going to allow you in. You have to try again. Yeah. You have to go back through the semi-pro league and get first to make it back in.
So when was that? What year was?
That was this past year. So when Flashpoint and ESL Pro League restructured, I believe that's when they got cut from making the Pro League. And now they're pursuing a career in Valorant, all 5 of those guys, I believe.
So I was looking recently at like what the difference is between NA and EU for CSGO, which is like a big thing for the community. And a lot of it is that like the talent is there for NA. It's just that like the way that organizations buy players and put teams together is just not enough to compete with EU. Like there's a lot of individual talent, but like there aren't enough organizations in NA that are like well known, and like the way that they buy players is like they're mostly pretty expensive buyouts, and they never really look at like upcoming new players to try out. It's always just we'll buy this player from this other big team.
They just trade. It's just like trading constantly.
So like nowadays, it like pro scene just seems like it's like an exclusive club, which I mean that's like most pro scenes for things, but it just seems like an exclusive club. And then semi-pro is just like a bunch of people have hope to join that club, but 90% of the time they won't get in. So
yeah,
I don't know what the future holds, but I hope it's better than what we have now.
I hope so too.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, and the reason I bring up the the CS:GO related stuff is because when you compare the two problems at hand, you look at Rocket League, you look at the lack of communication in a professional scene, and then you look at the expectations that the semi-pro scene is setting. It's kind of, they're kind of flip-flopped. I feel like the professional scene should be expecting these hard dates and forcing these set times and communicating how they're going to structure things, whereas the semi-pro scene is kind of forcing that amongst people who aren't ready for it. Yeah. So at the end of the day, I feel like if you're in the pro scene, whether you're an org or a league, you should really be committing all of your time and effort to making sure that they understand what's going on. They're a part of the conversation. But then anything below that, you have to understand that these guys are doing this as a hobby or a part-time job. As we've seen with like teams at CU and other universities, we don't expect our players to commit at a varsity level. We expect them to do as much as they can.
One player, Carson, who was a player on the black team, he is like his current position in like I guess the ladder of CSGO is much higher than like 99% of our players. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, he would put more time to that than our team, which is understandable. Nobody gave him any like hard times about it because you understand that this is sort of like a side hobby for him, like their CU team, while he's trying to aim for higher. But truth is, like even though he's at that position where we sort of idolize the position he's in, we also know that like it doesn't guarantee him a spot at any like pro team or anything.
Yeah,
so it's a pretty scary gamble. But.
Like I think at the end of the day, it's just no structured. Like there's no transition. It's just like you're doing this as a hobby, and you're just trying to work a full-time job and play games for fun on the side and be as competitive as you can, and then as soon as you go pro, you're jumping straight to pro. So that's the reason that I'll always advocate for esports in high school and college, is because I feel like it provides a really strong transition of working or being a full-time student and also competing at a high level and practicing that commitment.
Also like teaches you just like the customs of esports. I don't know, like you learn about the scene more, because I didn't know anything about it before I got to collegiate esports. I didn't know anything, and now I kind of know a little bit more.
Yeah, I think that like going pro at a young age, like you really miss out on the opportunity to develop as an individual, learn how to go through life on your own, and manage your own health, your own mental, physical health. And now what we're seeing in these professional teams is that they have to hire people just to make sure that their laundry is done and they're eating and doing all that sort of stuff. Which it would be nice if they had incentives to go play collegiate before going pro. I think that's all I really had for Rocket League.
I just think that collegiate. I think it should play a bigger part in upcoming players, like the path up. Because obviously not everybody goes to college and not everybody has that opportunity, but it also sometimes feels like that. At least for CS, the only way to get to pro is to just grind hard as hell and make a name for yourself. But I feel like collegiate teams should have a little bit more support from the esports industry, and they should be scouting more players from there. And then because obviously you're not going to find such insane players that are ready for a pro team, but they can find players who have potential and things like that.
Yeah.
I've got a really quick question, either for both Josh's and Leonardo. So, what is your opinion about Maryville University and fielding semi-pro and former pro players for their Overwatch team? Because half their Overwatch team are either former players of Overwatch before the whole, what you call it, franchise league, and also but they have a lot of players that are in their contenders league, and they actually do have their own Overwatch team as a collegiate team is competing in their contenders league. I know that's an extreme case considering how Maryville is just
off the charts. Yeah, I think, and I believe that they're also, they also have a rebranded team, either in contenders or I believe it's contenders if I'm not wrong. Yeah. Where they have the Maryville collegiate brand and then they have a contenders brand as well. Personally, I think that every year what we're seeing in the collegiate scene is the skill ceiling or the average skill level is just increasing exponentially every year. New players are discovering the collegiate scene, and I think a lot of game developers are really investing money into it. I think Rocket League, out of all of the collegiate scenes, is probably one of the top 2 or 3 collegiate scenes that has the biggest prize pool and the most viewership, most funding, everything like that going into it, alongside I think League and maybe one other. I actually don't know if there's any other fully.
R6 is pretty big because I know Leonardo, you guys compete in the CR6 league, but then the collegiate.
Well, we also compete in CEA.
Right, but then there's also another one which is CRSL, and they had their finals, and they reached the front page of Twitch, had 1,500 viewers at their peak. It's absurd.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
It's impressive.
Yeah, I think what's important though for the collegiate scene is having more of these leagues that pop up that are supported directly by the game developers, because different than traditional sports, all of these games are legally tied to the people who own the games, and so until a game has a collegiate scene that is either partnered with or directly developed by Riot or Blizzard or Psyonix or Epic Games, stuff like that, I think it's going to be really hard for them to get the prize pools and the the viewership that they want.
The fact that
needs to be there.
Yeah, the fact that a company like Faceit for CS:GO is helping the collegiate team and hosting leagues and stuff for us, it already helps us a lot. It'd just be nice to see Valve start making a similar move and start hosting things, giving more opportunities for people to scout us.
Yeah,
things like that.
Yeah, it's interesting. With us wanting these things from the main company or the game developer, but you would think that they would want to actively go out to do these things just because it's free publicity. It really is free publicity. You have an entire collegiate scene dedicated to your game. Why wouldn't you want to publicize, or why wouldn't you want to support that? Because if you do support that, you're just going to get more players to play your game. Yeah. I honestly, if the R6 collegiate, if I knew more about it in high school, I would have been playing it. I would have been playing it so much more. I would have played it so much more because of hopes of entering that league and then getting to the next level. But I just think like I said, it's free publicity, and I don't know why Like these companies aren't just hopping on this opportunity. I mean, money shouldn't be an issue. I feel like,
Yeah, I feel like
Especially for Valve.
I feel like at the end of the day,
especially from Valve.
it matters whether or not they want to pursue it, because there needs to be a defined scene with a lot of players and teams involved. Universities have to kind of invest in the games before the game developers are willing to do that.
For sure.
And especially for games like Rocket League and League, where they're putting in 50K, 75K prize pools, they have to calculate, okay, how much viewership are we going to get? What's our revenue stream going to be? And can we invest as much into the prize pool for these players and stuff like that? So I think that's a big deciding factor for them. What we've seen with Rocket League specifically is that the reason they get so much viewership is because they're promoting the scene in the game itself. So similar to what you'll see in Counter-Strike, where they have the major playing on the home screen of the game. In Rocket League, they have a tab that says like, hey, we're streaming now. They don't specify whether it's collegiate, pro, anything like that. They just always have that up if they're running some sort of competition on their live stream. Yeah. And I think they're just getting like thousands and thousands of clicks off the game from that.
Oh, which is a good idea.
So I think at the end of the day, you're not going to see viewership at the pro level until they have it integrated into the game itself. Because what you'll see, especially I know Robert and Carson as marketing people for CU, always in that conversation of how do you market esports. There's really no other way to reach gamers when it comes to the esports competitions themselves than to put it directly into the game where the gamers can,
you just put it
actively
in their face,
see it. Here. Yeah, there's no like there's just not. They don't use a lot of other social media until Discord has like an ad service, which I don't think we really want anyways.
Yeah. It'd be like, or like if Discord had like a homepage almost, and with like links to Twitch streams maybe of games or something like that. That'd be kind of cool, but I'm not too sure how Discord would do that.
Yeah, Discord would be a good place for that, just because it's a hub of everything. They changed their home. They have somewhat of a home screen. There used to be a page where it would be like just like the Steam news, like it would just pull like the RSS feeds for all the game updates and stuff. But it was
I
also,
remember
like,
that.
super irrelevant because you would launch a game and it would just assume you wanted updates on that. So like, even if I just like my brother used my computer and he launched a game, now my entire feed would be that. But anyways, just to move us along, it's a long podcast, Robert, but go ahead. Yeah,
I do want to go back to Carson's question real quick because I think we overlooked it a little bit. Just to answer it, I think that it is definitely okay that pros are playing at the collegiate level. I think, moving forward with the collegiate, I would like to see the collegiate scene turn into a semi-pro scene of sorts. Like naturally, I think that's what will happen. And then I think realistically, if you're playing at the collegiate level, I feel like you would be playing pro level if you could. I feel like if there's a salary there at the professional level, it would make sense for you to play there. And if you think that, hey, I want to get my degree and I have scholarship opportunities at the collegiate level, then I think it's totally fine to pursue that as well. I think that conversation of, if you're that good, should you pursue a pro career over going to college? I think that's something that we'll see pop up like way more down the line as people are actually making that decision to hold off on going pro.
Yeah, and I think just going down the pipeline, I think it needs to be just given more attention, just for both for motivation for players to join organizations, like some of the incentives you were mentioning, and then at the same time for people to watch those orgs. Like, I don't know about you guys, but like maybe if I see like 2 matches at the top of Twitch between like a professional match between 2 orgs and like 2 colleges, I probably want to see what I perceive as the higher level of play. So I might click on the teams that I recognize. So I think just overall, I think it needs to be more specified. And then moving on, same thing with like, I haven't seen it like so clearly laid out as say like Valorant did, but Valorant really like put out the guidelines for all their tournaments at like high, mid, and low tier, and it's setting the prize pools, who can organize it, who can play in it, and it's just like, when you can see the mainstream and the top orgs playing it, like where in the space do the collegiate teams lie in tournaments, in like viewerships, that kind of thing. They definitely lack on the promotion there. Yeah, but we're definitely this is a long podcast. It's going great. I'm just gonna go ahead and move us on to the next topic while I mention Valorant. I have an idea. So we're gonna talk about Valorant, which launches next Tuesday. Believe it or not. I think that's crazy personally. But since we've gone on for quite a while, and I know we could go on about Valorant for quite a while, why don't we go around and give everyone like a 30 to like 1 minute just hot take on what your thoughts on Valorant, like how if you think they're ready to launch. There's a new agent, new map coming out. Like, just what are your overall thoughts after watching the beta, playing in the beta, that kind of thing? We'll start with Carson.
I haven't played recently. I played a lot right when it came out. Wasn't really the best experience because I was mostly playing solo because I was busy and I couldn't really dedicate like a few hours to play with a team or get people together on the general community server. I felt like it was either I was on a team that was steamrolling basically people that just didn't have hands and were basically mashing their faces in the keyboard to being the receiving end of an absolute just backhanded slap every single round, and like it was there was no in between. I think I only had like one fairly competitive game. I don't really know how ready it is. I mean, you guys have probably played a lot more.
Sounds like a roller coaster of emotions for you there.
Yes, I'm just more excited for a potential CU team maybe. I don't know. Josh probably has more information on that.
Yeah. I think personally, like I find the game fun. I find the abilities fun, but like I still find CS:GO more fun. The movement in Valorant, it's so slow for me. I don't really like it because like there are a lot of situations where if you miss that first tap, you're forced to spray, and then this spray feels so awful in my opinion. I can't spray, and like in CS, if you miss that shot, like there's enough you can move quick enough to get yourself out of that situation, rather than fully committing. But like I think if I would like the sprays to be a little bit more consistent to make like gunfights feel a little bit less luck if both of you miss like that first shot. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, I think the game's ready to release.
I think it's ready to release.
I think that in a lot of people's eyes the game is already released. So I don't think, and I think that's what they wanted, right? They wanted this transition of beta keys and hype to go from, all right, it's initial hype, people are slowly getting transitioned into the game, and then it's like, okay, almost everyone has it, now they can fully release it. And to me, the release almost seems just like a much, like an extended patch per se, where they're adding a new agent, a new map, some stuff that's really been highly requested. A lot of people have, had complaints about the maps before. I think that honestly people are being somewhat overcritical of the map design.
I hate Haven.
I think that they should be critical because that's what's going to push the developers along to make changes. But I think this new map is going to be really exciting. The new agent, there's not really any information out about him yet. There's a little bit of leaked like art design, but I don't think there's anything on his abilities. But yeah, I'm excited for the release. I'm definitely going to be grinding it. I don't know what I'm going to be competing for CU with, but I got to keep my options open.
Oh yeah, quick question. How do you guys feel about the maps? Or if you're, well, I'll answer that after you're done, Joe.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, so like I said, I'm excited. We're going to be doing tryouts for Valorant in the fall, so we're excited to see all the incoming talent there. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have for Valorant. I like the maps. I think they're decent.
Like, do you have specific opinions about different maps? Because like I find like a lot of people have different preferences. Like personally, I'm not a fan of Haven. Split grew on me a lot, and I have the most fun on Bond.
Yeah, I think that's a common opinion. I think that's what most people would say.
Like I liked Haven at first. I thought it was my favorite, but then I just ended up hating it.
Yeah, I think that there's only 3 maps and people are getting burned out pretty quickly. I think if you take kind of a step away from the game and come back and you're just not playing like the same map 4 or 5 times in a row, then I think you're typically going to be satisfied when you're playing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Right. Well, my hot take on it is in the beginning, I had a really not so fun time with the game. I was really not enjoying it at all, just because I don't play CS:GO ever, so I don't really get the whole gun mechanics. I've been playing Siege so long, so that was a little bit rough. And then I came back to Valorant, and now I'm playing with like my buddies, and it's so much fun. I'm actually having a blast playing with my friends. It's just it's actually a game like, I don't know, I can have like stupid fun while still being kind of decent. The main issue, though, I definitely felt with the game at the moment is the lack of maps, and that I wish, not gonna lie, I kind of wish there was more agents, I should say. I just feel the variability it's nice that all of them are really, unique, but I like with Overwatch, there's like so many, and then there's Valorant, there's like, and here's like 9.
How do you feel about the balance of the agents? Do you feel like they're pretty balanced?
I still feel Raze is still crazy, man.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, but this whole the transition into the full game release is going to be very interesting, because this is going to be the true test, I think. Because when people play the beta a lot, they get really invested in the beta, and then sometimes when it releases, it just no one plays the main game. Like what happened to Lawbreakers. Obviously, it's a different situation, but I'm curious to see what's going to happen. I'm still going to play it, and that's my hot take.
When is the release, by the way?
June 2nd.
Tuesday. Yeah.
People were telling me that it was like today. I was like, I don't think that's the case.
No, I think ranked play ends tomorrow.
Oh,
or like,
ranked,
or
okay.
just anything. Like the game shuts down tomorrow for
the stuff that you unlock from contracts. Do you get to keep that stuff?
No, you don't. So you don't get to keep anything
rewards.
except for the beta rewards, such as like the beta gun buddy, and then like some like.
Oh, you get payback
cards.
So
you don't get
grinding for Omen's like ghost skin. Like
you don't get that.
I didn't
Okay,
even
yeah.
get there. I don't know about you, but I didn't even get there yet.
Oh, dude,
Yeah, I don't even have Viper yet, dude.
I was on that tier. I was like about to unlock it.
Yeah.
I don't have anyone's.
I want to play Cypher. Cypher looks like a lot.
Yeah. I guess to just wrap it up with my little bit is, I look at it in 2 perspectives, like playing it a little bit and then just content, like talking about it, watching it, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. I think it's a tough game to watch. I think CSGO is a little bit more straightforward and approachable in terms of watching. I don't know how it's going to do, but I'm definitely curious to see it, like just what happens to it. The maps, I think this fourth map, the map that will come out release, I think will definitely set the tone, because right now a lot of people have stopped playing it. Like Summit, I think, is like a relatively big name in regards. Like I'm sure he still plays it sometimes, but he had a large problem with the maps. The War Owl, he had a problem with the maps. They're very, very basic. There's a lot of videos out there that you can watch. Like it's almost just like one step forward of Gray Box. Like the spawns don't make sense. The wall element.
I saw that.
I'm
video.
not set on that.
saw
You
the
saw
video.
that.
I
Like,
know what you're talking about.
yeah, where the spawns are just like huge, which doesn't make sense because you don't play in spawn. Like you're sitting at the wall waiting for that barrier to go down. But I think Riot is not a company I have experience with because I don't play League, but I think them more than anyone have the ability to, redeem themselves. And I guess we'll see next week.
Like
Definitely,
a lot of people
definitely.
with Riot, a lot of people have problems with League because they feel that like the balancing team just isn't putting any effort in. Truth is, like the balancing team is putting in a lot of effort, but in a game like League, it's hard to see. At least in a
also
game
so
like
many
game
players.
like Valorant, you can see like immediate like pros and cons of things. This time Riot's really listening to their players, and they're waiting for all the feedback. I'm just hoping that they do listen.
In regards to balancing, I saw a little clip from one of the developers on stream, kind of discuss his ideology when it comes to balancing, and he said that he's fairly comfortable with making changes and letting them see how they play out. Obviously, he doesn't just throw in huge buffs and nerfs all the time, and they're obviously very picky about how they develop the characters, but he's willing to kind of take the risk of getting player feedback and saying like, hey, we're going to make this change. And we're going to see how it affects, how often people are selecting different agents. As a player, I feel like they're all very balanced right now. I think that there's obviously, some that are S tier, some that are A tier and B tier and whatnot. I think that's just naturally how the game's going to flow.
I didn't realize Omen, like people are ranking him much like lower and lower as like time goes on.
He's getting buffs, and I think that the buffs will be pretty substantial to his how often he gets selected. But yeah, I'm excited to see what they change with the characters, and especially this new agent. They're going to have 2 new agents eventually. So
Give me new voice lines, please. I'm tired of hearing the same ones over and over again.
Dude, Viper's so edgy, and I can't handle it anymore.
Like
She's so edgy.
if you actually watch a video that says if to hear all the voice lines, it's actually a lot. I think it's just very scenario based, and what you're seeing is that you're running into the same scenarios a lot.
Like
based on
that.
the level of play that you're at.
Like when Omen asks for a gun, he's just like, I need this. And it's just like, damn, ask for it. Sage is like, now I know how annoying my healing is. Yeah, true, it is. You know, things like that. Just give me new ones.
Yeah, or just an option to turn them off.
I do like the fact that they have like a little voice line when you kill someone. I think that's pretty cool.
I love Phoenix's like voice lines when he kills people.
I
like
think
Omen.
voice lines.
I like the reactionary element to it. Like it actually.
They need
reflects
to make
happens.
Omen thicker, honestly.
I like Omen when he gets like a multi-kill. What's his line, Josh? He goes like,
oh god,
he's like,
I
dead
don't
or
know.
something.
I have no idea. I don't get enough.
Cool.
All right. Shall we wrap it up here for the interest of time?
I think so. It was a pretty long.
Yeah.
I guess that's it.
Minute
Wow, that's like our
40.
longest one so
Do
far.
you want to like we talk about the R6 clone? Like, should I just like run through it? real fast?
If you
Yeah.
want
Why don't you do it? Go for
Run.
it.
All right.
I have no idea what's going on.
Basically, game on App Store and Google Store called Area 52. Not cool. Ubisoft is suing Apple and Google because they didn't take it down, even though it's clearly a clone. So there's that, and that's really it. Then there's a Splinter Cell op that could be coming from data mining, and that's it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Operation Steve Wave, don't know when it's happening.
Why are they suing Apple and Google? I feel like
For
is
lack
the
of
game
action.
developer just has no money, so they're just going after the people with money. Is that what's?
Actually, it's Ubisoft suing, so they definitely have money, but it's just the lack of action on Apple and Google's part. Like,
Yeah.
because there was like a large portion, I guess, of people that literally thought this game, Area 52, they thought it was an official mobile R6.
They probably
Okay.
took something like the Outbreak mode that came out a long time ago. They probably thought, oh, is this that? You know? Because that is being rumored still.
I just looked up this game, and the first clip I see, like, it looks immediately like ours.
I haven't seen it yet. I want to look at it real fast.
One of the
Super
players
close.
looks like Tachanka.
Yeah.
Like it looks like there's breach charge type things.
What's the game called?
Area
Area
52.
Where do you find? Can you send the link of where you found it?
Oh yeah.
For running,
I
on the
can't
Running
find-
show, there's a link to the story.
That was linked to a story. I couldn't really find a video.
Okay.
Or it's Area F2, I guess. F2.
Oh, it's F2. I prefer the
Oh.
Oh, I thought it was
Well,
I
okay,
was
that
gonna
changes
say
things.
nothing
That
is
changes things.
showing
That
up.
changes things. That
Yeah.
changes things.
Area F2.
Like the first
Cool.
clip, literally, like look at the operator. At the
Oh my
top.
god.
It literally
What?
is Tachanka at the top.
That is.
Yeah. It looks
Oh
like
my
an
God.
alpha. It looks like an alpha R6, does it not? Maybe.
Yeah, this
Even
is
they even
such a
have the-
ripoff.
Dude, they even have the same Tachanka logo.
Yeah, it's
His
literally the same
logo
logo.
is just like a great value brand version of Tachanka's logo.
Wow.
Oh my god! I didn't actually see like a lot of this. This is
I mean, it's kind of sick though. Like R6 Mobile,
don't they already have that?
do they? I doubt
I
it.
don't
know.
I don't
Why
think
would
so.
somebody really invest in making a
Yeah, that's the thing. Like,
ripoff? There already was one.
yeah, like I get
This
the
is actually
point of like
funny, though.
you can't just have a game that's like copying you, making money off of microtransactions or whatever. But I don't think a mobile game was a huge threat.
No, definitely not.
Yeah,
but it's just like
You just can't
This is a
have
clear-
that for the brand.
this is
yeah.
such a clear like copy.
If you guys get a chance, look at the operator screen. That's striking to me. It's like there's a lot of stances on there that are like, I see one like right off the bat. I see one that looks like Monty, one that looks like Castle, one that
That's
somewhat
really
looks like
funny.
Pulse.
Is there a guy? Is there an operator named Swamp? Because they got one in this game.
When you're dead and you're
Yeah.
spectating someone,
No.
like it's
Oh,
the
it's
same
the-
exact layout. It's like their name, like the gun and the gadgets that they have.
Listen
It's
to
the
this.
exact same.
This
I'm
is
honestly
this is Monty.
impressed.
This is Monty Boulder. Monty's Boulder. Mute is now silence. Smoke is swamp. I can actually like list most of these guys because Spitfire. That's just Tachanka.
Everything, just down to the drone system. There's a drone system.
Oh, yeah, there's a
where you
drone
pull out little
system.
like
This
you
is
pull
the-
out a
this is
little
the exact same
phone.
game.
Like it's just.
This is the
so,
exact same game.
I mean,
Wow.
they
It's
dealt
actually
with
hilarious.
It's gone now.
I mean,
I'm
like it
curious-
looks like it looks like it's pretty well developed. Not gonna lie.
Next thing you know, it's gonna be a free-to-play R6 on PC.
Yeah, it will definitely. They're gonna change the looks of it. They're gonna change the name maybe, and
Okay.
it'll relaunch. So I'm
They're
curious
gonna have to
what
change
happens
a
to
lot
that.
of it.
Even the loading screen for like the ops is the exact same.
Dude, check
Yeah.
the corners. Okay, I'm watching this clip. This guy's just running.
All
through
right.
everything.
So bad.
All right.
All right.
Thank you for letting me get that off my chest.
Yeah.
Oh, let me
that's
get something
funny.
off my chest. Companies, please make capture cards cheaper. Why are they so expensive?
It's true.
That's actually the biggest issue.
Like $200.
Are you looking for like an in-PC capture card or an external capture card?
Either is fine at this point. Probably external though. Probably external. But like,
well, like what's Elgato's?
Elgato's like
why don't we wrap it up? Why don't we wrap it up?
Josh is gonna get us down a
this
deep
free
hole.
Elgato promotion here, but yeah. I suppose shall we start taking us out?
Please sponsor us.
Yes, I guess so. So I guess that's the end of episode 7. Again, thanks for Josh fastrr for being here, being a guest.
Our first guest.
To both Joshes.
Also, nice to have Josh Sandy Pickle back after his long hiatus. So going with the usual closing and thanks. Robert also doing the stream. He also does our graphics. Again, you can follow him.
Do the Twitch link. That's the thing right now. That's what we're promoting.
Okay, so we're gonna go at you.
Follow me on Twitch.
Twitch.tv@ushocks. Thanks to Ben, who uploads our videos on YouTube and edits them down. You can follow him on Twitter at DragonLordLeda. Our project team is James, Josue, and Clovis, and you can follow Leonardo on TikTok at General Dublin. Or
on Twitch, General Dublin.
Also on Twitch, yes. Again, you can find all of our links.
Twitter.
Yes.
It's crazy. All right, thanks guys.
Yeah, dude.
If you're listening to this,
bye-bye.
Thanks everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, gamers.
Oh boy.